Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kerry and I work at the Stouffville Center here at Mass General Hospital, where I plan events for the primary care community, not only at Mass General, but across the partners' healthcare system. For undergraduate education, I went to the University of Connecticut, where I studied communications and sociology. I'd like to tell you about one of my great experiences at UConn when I studied abroad in Greece during winter intersession. The program that I studied through was through the Center for Hellenic Studies. It was run by Ilias and Maria Tomasis, and they ended up being our instructors while we were over in Greece as well. It was a winter intersession, so it was 3 weeks long, and I was on the island of Rhodes, which is in the southeastern Aegean Sea. I took a course on Greek language and culture, and I had a lot of great experiences while I was over there. I visited a lot of different sites, many of which you've probably seen or been to yourself. I went to Athens, Olympia, Delphi, the island of Symi, and a host of other places where I got to see local sites, the Acropolis, different temples, and ancient ruins. It was really, really wonderful. I'd like to kind of tell you about a few of my favorite experiences that I had when I was over there. The first one is when we traveled to Olympia. Ilias, our course instructor, brought us to one of the ancient Olympic fields where they used to host the games. And he had the entire class do a lap around the field so that we could pretend that we were ancient Olympians. And he timed us, and I did not come in first. So, another memory that I had is when I swam in the Aegean Sea. It was about 60 degrees outside, middle of January, and the winters in Athens are similar to the winters here. It's not time to go swimming, but I took a dip in the Aegean, and all my classmates thought I was a little bit weird, but when I go to a new place, I always like to experience everything, and that's one of the things I always do. And finally, my favorite experience when I was over in Greece was bringing in the year 2008. So New Year's Eve, I spent in a local village with the local town people, my classmates, and we learned how to do some traditional Greek dances. There was sort of a potluck dinner around the town. All the townspeople brought different gifts and things to share, and at midnight there were fireworks and confetti, and it's really one of my favorite memories. And I learned how to say Happy New Year in Greek, so for anyone that wants to use it in the upcoming season, it's Kelly Kronia. So overall, studying abroad was one of my best experiences at UConn. I took away a lifetime of memories and some really close friends. And if we were in Greece right now, I'd say Afagistaro. Instead, I'll say thank you for your time.
Hi, you can start. I thought, sorry. No, it's right. You had a really good pace. You kept the things going. The attention.
I like your way to make setting for the preference. It was impressive.
I like that you kind of laid out the facts, and then we talked about your personal things you kind of lit up, so that kind of like brought me back into it too.
You smiled a lot, you just seemed really warm and personable and everything.
My name is Mowgli, to yours. I don't do good with speakers who speak very soft, but I thought you were very professional, very warm, and I was following.
I didn't hear an so, an
Wow.
you didn't interrupt, like, you know what I mean, you were fluent. I think that's a great word.
I thought you were both soft but authoritative at the same time, so it was that calming presence, very authoritative presence. But like Wendy said, at the appropriate times you smiled, and so it showed that this was a good part of the trip and this is something that you enjoyed, so you managed that really well.
I thought you transitioned well throughout the presentation between the experiences, and I also thought it was nice to incorporate those sayings in Greek and then share them in English. Like, I thought that was really cool because they don't really grasp the attention of somebody not of your audience.
You have an amazing smile. So when you look up and smile, it's just, it makes us all relax. And it's not so much that it's infectious. It's just we're like sucked into your presentation because of it. And you don't smile very often in your presentation. So no. It's a compliment. Sometimes people smile and they're smiling the whole way, and it doesn't seem as genuine. You would introduce it at moments where you could tell you really meant it, like you were thinking about something and it made you smile, which was interesting for us as audience members. You've got great eyes, so you did a wonderful job, I think, of really kind of looking around the room and making eye contact with people. But you also do it in a very slow, methodical way. Like, there was nothing rushed or edgy about your presentation. You have a very soft style about it, but not weak. It was almost like there were times when it felt like you were about to tell us a secret. Like, you do something with your eyes and you had a little bit of a smile, and it was, again, just a nice device to keep us hooked, to try to hear what's the secret going to be.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Open to critiques too, please.
I'll start with that. Okay. Well, something I noticed is the thing with your hair. I mean, I think you're beautiful, and it's just like different people might read it differently. So for me, it's like, you know, I mean, I know it's just something that you're used to, like grabbing your hair, but like I feel like others might read it like, you know, I'm beautiful and I know it, or something. I don't know, you know what I mean?
I've had that comment before when I took speech in college. They said I was distracted with my hair. So I think maybe pulling it back.
For important presentations, I would say pull it back, because you liked to play with your hand, with your hair, and it almost came across as like sultry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Not the look I was going for.
Right? But that's the word. I actually wrote at one point, you've got a sultry look about yourself, and then you play with the hair, and I mean, I wish I had it, but
Thank you.
Probably that's something I would say.
yeah. But like in a room full of the group that you support,
Okay, that's really helpful.
I think at the beginning, if you had a little bit more enthusiasm, that would have helped. I heard a monotone sort of at the beginning, low volume, but then also kind of a little bit lack of energy in the voice. But then once you started to sort of remember, I could tell you were thinking about that experience, and then the smile started, and it completely changed. You know, so if you started with that purposely, that would really get people.
That's something I'm kind of looking forward to, is how to start a presentation, right? I always feel like a little bit awkward when I have to be like, hi, I'm Kerry, and this is what I'm doing, sort of. So that's helpful.
yeah, it was like you felt it. I'll be curious to see what happens to you next week, because that opening piece felt very like it's a business presentation.
Yeah.
It felt very not genuine to who you were.
Mm-hmm.
And then you started the story and it was different. Yeah, I think your opening is where your nerves were revealed. So we'll think about that.
Thank you.
I would just say try to project a little bit more. I mean, it's not that you're not a server, just that if someone's at the back of the room, they probably wouldn't be able to hear you. So just think about projecting.
One last thing I'll say, in the beginning, your presentation style was one that sounded very memorized.
Okay.
And the concern, did you have that?
I was just almost too rehearsed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like beyond the introduction as well.
It was mostly the introduction.
Okay, I really struggle with that. I really, really do. So that's helpful.
Yeah, so it revealed itself, and the risk there, I got really nervous for you, because if someone memorizing is the worst thing you could ever do, because it forces you into a presentation that might not be a direct hit. Or if somebody asks you a question, you're completely thrown, and you can't rebound if you memorize. So one of the things that I do for an I'm going to shut this off.